You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Justified. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Justified news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues.
Justified.
You got
Hey,
you got
well
it this
done.
week.
I like to have the pregnant pause.
Nice.
Right to it.
Right
Well, thank you for
on
joining
it.
us, everybody, for another AfterBuzz podcast of Justified, Season 3, Episode 4, entitled The Devil You Know. I'm your host, John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by the lovely and talented Tamara Berg, the not-so-lovely but equally talented Steve Bottomley,
Hello.
and in the booth, the producer extraordinaire is Phil Svitek.
Welcome, everyone. And by the way, I've got some... Thanks for the whistling, Steve.
Yes.
That was me.
It was Tamara.
Tamara.
She hooted you.
That was definitely a girl whistle.
All right. Well, I've got a fun special segment for you guys.
Looking forward to
The
it.
Season 2, we're going to review the Season 2 DVD extras.
Perfect. That's
Awesome.
fun.
Very, very fun.
good.
So for those of you who bought it on iTunes and couldn't get it, I'll break it down for you.
Nice.
That's what we do here, isn't it?
That's we break it down. Speaking of breaking down, okay, The Devil You Know, aptly titled once again, as always. Two storylines really about in this particular episode. We saw the continuation of Mags' money and where is it, and the jailbreak is part of that, and let's go get it, and all that kind of stuff, and how that played out. And then we got to see, well, actually the continuation of Quarles. I'm sorry, Mr. Detroit.
Mr. Detroit.
Making his headway and trying to get his team together to take over the Harlan County and the whole thing and make his money there, and how that affected Boyd. And we're going to see the convergence of those two people come.
You stole my word.
I beg your pardon.
I even wrote it down
did
because
you?
I came up with that in the
Boyd?
car on the way over. Convergence.
Oh,
I
convergence.
was like, they're coming together. It's a convergence, and you just stole it.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. But so let's get right into. Let's talk Dickie, and I know the other one, but the jailbreak and the fight sequence. I just have to start off with Dick because he's so pathetic. He and Dewey in the yard getting their ass kicked.
Yeah,
And
I love the fact that that's all part of the plan.
Exactly.
Except no one told Dewey.
Yeah, no,
Right.
so
Dewey
He's
jumps
just being
in.
a stand-up guy.
I'm telling you, I swear to God, it's like they love writing for this actor and this character so much that they just keep him in because he's such a dweeb.
a total
Yeah,
dweeb.
he's the guy that will never die because he's
Yeah.
just kind of too stupid to die.
Exactly.
But I just love the fact that out of the gate, they're just irritated with the guy.
Yeah,
and now they got to
completely
bring him
irritated.
along. And
You were not part of the plan. Hey, man, what happened?
What, this guy, moron? You think he heard anything about the plan? Dickie, or Dewey, what do you know about the plan? What, about you breaking out of jail?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He's so good at
the
this.
nicest
He's
thing
so
about that
good.
scene was they just leave the syringe in
Oh,
his
I know,
neck.
that's-
They
Oh
don't
my
even bother to pull
God.
this.
But don't you think it's classically that's Elmore Leonard? I mean, that's
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
stuff. Though. But I just love Dewey on the current. He said, "I think I'm going into shock. I'm really cold."
Can I get a Tylenol?
Wonderfully said. And then there's Dickie. I mean, God, his hair. I mean, it's so. I mean, emaciated, and I love the way later in the next scene when Raylan's talking about it, that he's talking to the doctor in the infirmary. What was the line he said? "You were bushwhacked by an imbecile and an undernourished half-cripple."
Let me get this straight.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's great Elmore stuff. I mean, I don't, obviously he didn't write it, but whoever did that's just good stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to say that?
Oh, yeah.
Been bushwhacked by
This
an
one was written by
imbecile?
Taylor Elmore,
Taylor Elmore, that's
which
what
we
I'd
get
say.
confused
With
all the time with Elmore
yeah,
Leonard.
So I wonder what the connection is.
we were talking about one-liners in last week's show. Again, this week's show had
great
just
ones.
Yeah.
great ones right off the bat. Can I get a goddamn amen?
Yeah.
Give me a goddamn amen!
Apparently, Graham was it was an ad lib or something.
Yeah, it was. It was an ad lib by
Was
the
it?
actor.
Yeah,
yeah.
Neil McDonough said, "Let me try
nice.
this.
Because let me do
try
one
this."
more.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
he came up with, "Give me a goddamn it."
So I picked the one line
Amen.
that the writer didn't write to
Exactly.
compliment his writing.
Nice.
You're welcome.
You're
It's an actor
so
being on top
good,
of his game.
Steve.
There's something that I've been noticing in the last few episodes that this show really does well. It's using the facial bruises and the scars as a timeline.
Yes, that's a great
notice that?
point.
Timeline.
Because as it progresses, the scars do get smaller, as opposed to like a lot of shows where next season
They're
next
just
week,
gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm thinking, man,
Way to
that
go,
must be
makeup
really,
crew.
Yeah,
That is
and
hard for the makeup
continuity
department.
and all of that stuff. So kudos.
And continuity, makeup and continuity, nicely done.
Yes.
But it is nice. You
Congratulations.
kind of go, okay, so that's fading. So this is it helps you keep
Keep
time
track of where we
space
are. It
does.
relation.
And we saw that a lot in the last 3 episodes because Raylan was recovering from his gunshot wound
Right.
and was really stiff and achy and moving kind of slow and
in
ready
this
to
one,
get back in
Boyd-
the saddle, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes.
Boyd is slowly losing his face scar.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
went over his
And
eye.
Devil had to get rid of his mouth wound.
Cold sore.
Right?
His cold
Yeah.
sore. Which really, seriously, I'm looking like, dude, that's a cold sore.
Got a bad.
Yeah,
Got
that's
a
when-
bad.
That's well, no, it's when Boyd decked him
Of course it is.
Yes.
at the
Of course
bridge.
it is.
Yes.
So it wasn't a cold sore. So the infirmary. Their big plan is to break these guys out and then have Dickie take them to the money.
Right.
That's their big plan. Of course, we find out there's more to this plan later, which we'll discuss as we get into this. But the guard Ash doesn't seem to be the brightest guy. And I couldn't quite figure out who was really running the show because they were, even the I don't know, I don't remember the doctor's name, the infirmary doctor.
Yeah, I
whatever
couldn't
his
figure.
name
I
is.
never could figure
But
it
they
out.
both seem to have different agendas or slightly competing agendas because the doc wants Dewey for some other reason, which we obviously are it's next week. We saw it in the upcomings, so that's interesting. But there also seem to be who is he talking to? The doc at the end. He's on the phone with somebody. I got one guy.
Don't know.
So
I got
there's
one guy.
more to this, and I'm just wondering, is this
Yeah.
Quarles? Is this Mr. Detroit? What's the deal? And
Right.
So any clue on that? I know it's predictions, but that was the one thing that was really interesting to me is that there was more going on even than what we were seeing.
I don't have an answer for that, but at predictions, I do have something about the Dewey
All right, well,
situation.
all right, we'll
but
get
I have
into that.
no idea who he's talking to.
All right.
But that's another interesting thing about this show is you can like get the script and go, well, yeah, I'll take this role
Yeah.
because although for this episode I'm kind of the background guy.
Yeah.
He dies.
Yeah.
And then I still get to
That's
step
right.
up.
Speaking of he dies, I mean, we were talking as it happened. They give you no warning. The guy in the truck, the
my God.
van that has the corpses in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
He's
A contract guy.
Exactly.
Can I get a little taste?
Bam, he's dead.
Well, I was starting to do body count on this one. I only
Yeah.
counted 3 though, but
Yeah.
it seemed like they were coming fast and furious.
Yeah.
But I watched it twice. This was the second time just before we
Yeah.
came on, and it still shocked me each time.
I know.
Everything
I
shocked
thought the
me each
shot
time.
looking from the back of the van, you seeing the corpses on the floor of the van.
In the body bags?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was hysterical. And one pops up and just. And
And
starts playing about.
they know it's Dewey and they
Yeah.
don't care.
They don't-
They're
they're not
he's
even
just
interested.
watching them. That kind of reminded me of the Fairley Brothers movie, Fargo. When she's
No,
running
that's
around
Coen Brothers.
I'm sorry, Coen
Coen
Brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
Where she's running around blindfolded.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're
He's
just
got
all
the sack
watching
on
her.
and- yeah,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Same sort
Right.
of feel of this
Right.
guard just watching Dewey.
You just let him flail about for a bit because it's
you gonna do?
Because he's finally coming to from the syringe.
no respect. They
But
just
and
don't care
it
about
was hilarious, but having a little claustrophobia issues in my world,
Oh, you were
I was
freaking out a
thinking of
little
the
bit?
poor actor who, of the
Yeah.
actor having to do that through the can't really breathe very well.
Yeah, that would
and
freak me out.
That was I was like,
Well, it was a stunt man, so hopefully he was
you're right.
okay because
You're
he had
right.
to fall
He
out
probably
of
had
the
an
van.
Ativan before he did it, just to be sure.
But no, that's
Ativan to
get
fall
out
out
of
of
the
the
van?
van.
Hey, you guys. That would freak me out. I wouldn't be able to do that. So, well, I would be able to do it because
Yeah, you would.
it's a job.
You'd make it, but it made me nervous.
Okay. Okay. So
what were we talking about?
Yeah.
well, we're just talking
Where
about
were
this. Yeah. So obviously they call in the marshals because the marshals they're one of their things that what's under their purview is that the escaped convicts, etc. So that's why Raylan gets called in. Also because it's Dickie, I'm sure they went, oh, let's get Raylan. I feel bad for Raylan.
And later in the episode, another one of the great lines of the episode.
Oh, that's right.
Shit, God
Goddamn.
damn it, if I don't have to go save Dickie Bennett.
How bad is
I
that?
hate it when that happens.
How bad does it have to be when you have to save? I mean, yeah, I guess they're trying to cement his hero status. I mean, he's got to go save somebody he would rather just let die.
clearly reluctant hero in
Yes,
certain
very
situations.
extremely reluctant hero.
Raylan in this episode had the same sort of, cavalier. I'm not too worried about any of this attitude that he had
really
last.
did.
That we got to see, except when he went up against Detroit. But this one through the whole thing is kind of like, first time we see him, you let an imbecile and an undernourished half, and all the way down the line, he was talking to Rachel and going into the holler, and there really even going up against Ash.
Yeah,
you
just
didn't
cool,
see, the
cool,
kind of like I'm just kind of just bored a little.
Yeah,
It's just cool. He's just
And that's fun to watch. And when he's interviewing or interrogating Ash, it's so much fun to watch when he's in that place.
Oh, it is.
I'm concerned about leaving you.
Yeah, I don't want to leave you alone. Man.
Nobody wants to die alone.
Don't have any bars on my
bars.
cell phone, but don't want to use the hotel.
Yeah.
It's probably the spleen.
It's okay. You can live without a spleen. As it goes septic, then you got to get it out of there.
He must have he must have fun playing that.
Yeah, I mean, it must have fun writing those things. I mean, being in the writers, it must be a blast because you get to go crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
Every single one of these guys. I mean, I don't know who would be funner to write for. Dewey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Boyd's got
Or Boyd.
Well, but also
Boyd
Art.
is so much fun.
Oh, yeah,
Art is
Art's-
hilarious
Art's
to write for.
Yeah. Just, and Boyd, just his quiet,
Charm.
What might precipitate this visit?
That was one of the great things because when Raylan and Boyd sit together, you're always kind of thinking maybe Boyd isn't so bad,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Boyd's not this bad guy, maybe there's this moment he's going to turn, and in this episode they went no.
No.
I think they wanted to remind you.
Yeah.
They did. I read
I think
something.
you're right.
I read something last week that
Yeah.
had said that I think it was an interview with Graham Yost again,
Right.
talking about how we know Boyd is charming and we know that
Right.
Walton Goggins is a charming guy and we write him as somebody who's very persuasive with people, but you've got to remember he is a criminal and he does bad stuff.
Yeah.
And boy, it came out
He's a sociopath.
fast this week.
And
yeah.
you forget that because there's no real there with these guys, and he plays that really well.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It is scary.
I'm quiet because my mic is like picking everything up.
Well, speaking of that, I know we were going to talk about this later, but since we were chatting about it now, even when in that last scene with Devil, when he was, talking to him, obviously he'd already the
Made his
loyalty-
decision.
Yeah, and the loyalty aspect has been crossed, and once that's been crossed, you can't go back. That's what Boyd was saying is once you go down the road, you can't go back. After he shot him. And he's talking to him about, the pain. I know I've been right where you are, finding it hard to breathe, all that kind of stuff, and the pain is unbearable. Do you want something for the pain? It looked like he felt bad that not only did he shoot him, but he had to shoot him. He felt bad about the whole thing, and he really did want to help him. But, that code they, quote, live by is that, it had to be done because you had broken the loyalty. But there's no reason, that you should
I
have
can't
to
show you
suffer.
some mercy.
Right.
And in that weird way, here, I'm going to
And
do you a
again-
solid by
So
taking this.
interesting.
And again,
Taking
the writer gave him such a great line. Close your eyes, son.
Yeah.
That's the
Called him
last thing he
son.
says.
Called
Yeah.
him son twice in that last scene.
So you got a little taste of the preacher,
Yeah.
and you got a big taste of the sociopath, and all the craziness.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
But even in that
But they-
moment when he's
again,
killing a guy, I'm going, he's still charming. He's still-
yes,
It's freaky.
that is the thing that I was walking away with too. It's
Ted
like,
Bundy-esque,
God.
But so much better.
Oh, well.
Because
Okay.
I studied Ted Bundy.
Yeah, okay. Let's not get into that. I don't
I
want to
did.
talk
No,
about
it
that.
was for college. It wasn't like a personal,
Some weird thing.
yeah,
You're gonna
jailhouse
you're gonna
romance
pitch
or
a new
anything.
reality show or something.
No.
Yeah.
The next Ted.
All
Bundy.
right.
Okay, send the letters to Phil.
I'm a nationally ranked public speaker.
All right,
Thank you
let's
very
all right,
much.
let's move on from that. Let's get back to our show. All right, now we're going back to when Rachel and Raylan had to go up to Noble Hall and met up at Limehouse. Great scene. Again, does this guy only work with meat in Limehouse every time we've seen him?
Yeah. Well, he's got a barbecue.
Yeah, he's got a barbecue, he's got this, and then what's his
Honey,
last line, Rachel?
I'll give you some bacon you will never forget.
which is so loaded I don't really want to talk about it. But,
Yeah, I don't think he was just talking about
No.
Farmer John, if you know what I mean.
but it was interesting. The car the way over, we were talking.
Farmer Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel's. They were
Thank
talking
you very
about.
much.
Way to go, Tammy.
Nationally ranked.
Yeah, there you go. In the car on the way over, Raylan and she are having a discussion about Black History Month and the holler. And,
Oh, that was so fun.
So you're taking me as an advocate,
Ambassador.
Thank you. And he reminds her, well, I remember having to do the same thing for you, which was nice because they did that in another season, another episode. So that was nice. So you could see the interplay that they have there and how they help each other. But I thought I loved hearing her story, her backstory, being from Tennessee and working as a maid with her mother, and the woman put her through Ole Miss and the whole thing. I loved that. I wanted to know more of that stuff.
I thought that was an interesting scene where they just kind of forgot about Limehouse.
Yeah,
and kind of a way of like, you're really not that important to us right now.
Exactly.
So we know we're on your turf.
Yeah.
But after a while goes, well, y'all have a lot to talk about, so I'll just go on now.
Just a little aside.
Well, and again, and one of the things I read about Graham Yost, he was saying that there are so many characters on the show and they've got so much work to do that it's hard to get some of that character stuff in sometimes. And they would love to do more. Because they give you these little tastes of that she went to college, her mom made her go to college to elevate her status and all that kind of stuff. And but they just don't have time.
Yeah.
They just don't have time.
They don't.
And but we can fill in a lot of the gaps as long as they give us those little tidbits.
If they would stop
Stop
bringing in all
people.
the cool, outside characters that you want to hang with that you've never seen a week before, and you're like,
I know.
But
Well,
I thought
you're
it was fascinating how they brought in all that X-Bots.
Yes.
And it's just basically just did an aside between the two of them.
Yeah.
And even, Limehouse, like you said, is just rolling his eyes going, well, you guys got a lot to talk about, but I'm busy.
Well,
It's
and
almost
they
like,
did it
get
with
back to
us,
the
a
storyline.
couple weeks ago with the Bass Reeves thing.
Yeah.
Two sentences, and we were all riveted and went off and did research.
And they did it a second time when Raylan goes to Boyd at the bar, and he's talking about his mother and the whole thing at the holler and, how he met Limehouse. In fact, I thought it was really interesting when we first see Raylan meet Limehouse, he says... Limehouse says, Givens, what have I known that name? And he says, probably my dad. Just why? Did he do something I would remember?
I should remember.
Yeah.
And Raylan says, well, put it that way, no. So, and then we find out later what that's about because the whole story of his mother going there and Arlo getting drunk and going there to fetch her. Yeah, dropped in.
You're a riot.
And and Limehouse beating the crap out of him.
One hit.
Yeah.
He leaned back to Tennessee or something.
Leaned back.
He's
Whatever.
such a
It's in Nebraska.
big
Whatever.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's such a big
And,
guy. Now
felled him.
Let me ask you: do you think that Limehouse doesn't remember?
I don't know. That's interesting. He never
doesn't
let
know.
on he did. But then again, I thought that was a great little character because he could have played it so close to the vest. We don't know. Certainly, Raylan doesn't think he remembers him. But who knows? Maybe Limehouse remembers everything.
Well,
My
maybe
guess
there's
is
something
It's a long
going on
time
with his dad
Arlo.
and with
Arlo
Arlo
and
and
Limehouse.
Limehouse still.
It seemed, but Limehouse knows a bunch. He knew about the pot that Boyd had. My guess is he knew that Arlo was part of that group, so he probably knows the whole thing.
Yeah.
But why tip his hat to a marshal?
Right.
He just wants him to leave.
Here's why I love those little vignettes, because the writing is so tight and so good that there's a reason why we're sitting here listening.
Yes.
He'll come in and he'll tell a story about his dad getting punched, but then at the end of the story is directed to Devil.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, they infuse the storyline and we're gonna have this nice little thing here.
Yeah.
But let's just
But
make
the
sure
message is going out to one of the other characters, like their little talk at Limehouse. The message was they were talking, but the message was definitely going out to Limehouse.
Yeah.
So I love those.
Yeah.
They're able to get that information in, but also make it pertinent to the scene.
Yeah, there's no fat in the show at all.
Oh God!
Well,
no.
especially on Raylan's body.
It's just like Raylan. And
Definitely not on Dickie's body either.
I enjoy watching it 2 times. We've had a chance to do that a couple of times. And the 3 of us, thank goodness, we're all sort of in the same. We have personality. But now, hang on a second. Can you just go back 3 clicks? Because there's sometimes just things we wanted to see again, and other times when we just missed them or needed to write them down. And
they say things.
It's because the show is so full.
And this is really the show that makes me feel like an old man, because I'm always like going, can you turn on the closed caption? I need the words underneath. I can't
There were gardeners.
What are they saying?
There were gardeners outside today.
Yeah.
And the accent and the whole thing. I mean, that still does, because they're using words I've never heard of.
It's sometimes, yeah.
Noble holler.
Or they drop a name and you don't know if it's like a
exactly.
phrase or, you know, something about trail mix.
Yeah, I got
like,
you something. What the hell? What was that?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they're just using the vernacular, so it's nice. So.
We have not seen the sniper lately. In the
No,
last few episodes.
Tim hasn't been part of this.
You suppose he's off filming something?
I don't know.
Because he's
That's a
always a fun
research
foil to
He's
Raylan.
terrific.
He's always kind of a thorn in his side of, you know, taking him
Well,
out.
there was no Winona, no Art, no Tim.
Yeah.
Did we meet any of them last week?
Yeah,
I
that's
must have seen Art.
It's a whole week ago, Steve. How do you expect us to remember that?
Let's stay on point, all right? This is this week. That was last week.
And the point now we're on with it is Ash and the breakout.
No,
having to do with
we just went to Limehouse and we came out of Limehouse, so they're gonna put a roadblock.
So they know where they're headed.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
they know where they're headed.
But obviously Raylan's got more ideas because he knows that, okay, if I don't get anything from Limehouse, my guess is who's the next person I can talk to? Who else knows what's going on in the holler? Who else wants Dickie and the money? Boyd. So that's the next person he goes to. So and that's where we had the scene at the bar and you know.
We skipped over Loretta.
Oh yeah, Loretta, that's right.
So Loretta just
He
and
goes
the
to
only
her
reason
first,
I
that's
bring
why
it
he
up,
goes to Limehouse, a
right?
big
The
part.
only reason I bring it up is that it wasn't a big scene.
No.
But they brought her back. You don't know from Loretta because you haven't seen season two.
Yeah.
And I read ahead that she is going to come back for at least one more episode this season. It's a great storyline. When you watch it, you'll like it. And if anybody out there hasn't seen season 2 yet, you're crazy. Got to watch it. Yeah. But the Loretta storyline is really fascinating. It's fascinating.
And Raylan helps
very
her
important
out through a
in season
difficult
2.
thing and gets her away from
Yeah,
Mags.
it's sweet between the two of them.
You know, I've got a note on that scene, and you're given a certain amount of information at the beginning of the show, and then Raylan's job is to keep that information alive without making it boring. You know, he's got to do his investigation. He's got to kind of
because it could be very procedural.
It could be.
Show, and you know, there are some procedural shows out there that it's just give me the facts so I can move the story along.
Exactly, and you don't want to keep giving the same information over because as the viewer, you know this. But the way that they do these scenes, it really is a dance with each one of these different characters and each one of these different scenes. The way that they dance the information out, how they work with each other.
And they get out of the scene really fast, so you have to figure out the connection between that scene and the next scene. Because she doesn't say, well, go to Limehouse. And you just have to assume that that's what...
But
nice.
The dialogue and everything is so... They're keeping everything interesting, and most of the time, they're just people talking.
So, yeah. So when he finally gets to Boyd, Boyd says he's got some information from him. Goes to see, I believe his name was Trammell. I don't know who that was, but he puts people together that shouldn't be together, that kind of thing. Tanner, was it? Okay.
I think it was
whatever
Tanner.
his name was.
Why did Boyd send him off? Boyd could have just said, I don't know anything. But for some reason, Boyd throws him this bone.
Because he doesn't want Dickie to get the money.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because if somebody else has the money, he doesn't.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah. So.
But he doesn't know how much is not there yet.
No, he doesn't.
Right.
Nobody knows.
So it's in Boyd's interest to screw up the
absolutely
the jailbreak.
Exactly. So
and getting Dickie screwed up is not going to hurt Boyd's feelings at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, why would he care? You know, he kind of he's still pissed off that Ava got shot. So
yeah.
So anyway, what I thought was hysterical was that Raylan sitting at the motel and on the road.
Oh, this was great.
He's on the phone. And I assume he's on the phone with Trammell Tanner, whatever his name was. Now, can you get me a little close?
Yeah, I'm at the place, but I need to be closer.
Boy, this guy really does put people together. And then, he's so close that the guard Ash was walking across the street.
I love that scene where he's walking and he doesn't even look over. He just knows, and then he slowly looks over, and there's Raylan in his Lincoln.
Yeah.
Shucks.
Yeah, he's just like standing there.
I thought that visually that was very interesting because it's a lot like the showdown.
It's a showdown, at the OK Corral.
Exactly, but instead of two guys facing off, with their guns out, you got one guy in a car and one guy carrying groceries.
But did you see that shot of the gun in his back pocket and the whole setup and everything?
Edited.
And then they go to the eyes and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was
nice.
Such a throwback.
Shot.
Phil, you would have liked that, right? I mean, that's so cowboy. That's
I love
that's
that
Western
That was
stuff
great.
right there.
That was great. One of the things that I wanted to talk about in this scene was Timothy Oliphant actually was the person who suggested for that scene and potentially for the rest of the season, what if we went a whole season without Raylan actually shooting somebody?
Interesting.
and so the writers enjoyed that, thought that was a good idea, right? And so he says, I don't mind doing anything badass, but when I run over
Are
with
we
a car.
are we in this season right now, or we're going to try to go?
Yeah, this is it.
Well, that's great. I mean, that I think,
and who knows? You may not be able to get through
who
that,
knows? But it's
an interesting
great test.
Exactly. It's a great little exercise.
It forces you
to
be
do.
more creative. How do I make this guy still a badass, but he never shoots anybody?
They're doing
Because everybody else is shooting.
They're doing the MacGyver twist.
And he did it really badass.
That was pretty cool.
Not only that, he did
You
it
ran
twice.
over me. Well, actually, you
Technically.
rolled over me and I ran and backed up over you.
Yes. But you were brandishing a weapon
Well, yeah.
both times.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I love the shot looking at the rearview mirror when Ash pops his head back up into view and he's all.
Did he not look like a zombie?
Total
That was just
zombie.
really good. It's like watching The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
You know.
And he's trying to get his arm to
Exactly.
work. And he can't get the gun up. You know, he's like, ah. And again, the attitude of this day is just really a pain in the ass.
And again, that reminded me of Out of Sight. The movie Out of Sight, the Elmore Leonard Out of Sight, when the guy's going up at the end of the movie when he's walking up the steps, he trips on the steps and shoots himself and everything.
Yes.
It's so accidental thing. It just looked like, it just felt like that. I was going, God, that's just right in that wheelhouse. It was wonderfully done. Strange, but it was just great. And then afterwards, and I thought it was interesting when they showed Ash before he went to get out the chicken, went to go out and get the chicken. You know, Dewey said, "Hey, I'm hungry. I've got a real whatever he says. I got the bad case of the hungers or whatever." Ridiculous.
Give
thing.
me some trail mix.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know.
chicken. Yeah, no coleslaw.
No coleslaw.
And of course, you know, Ash is pissed that he has to go do it. And the shot, which looks like an incidental shot, like I just need an edit shot or whatever. Shot of him grabbing the keys off the table. You have no idea how interesting that comes into play until Raylan, smart enough to figure out, okay, I
What
don't know
room
which
are they
he's
in?
Searches his body, finds the keys, and that's. I mean, without that shot, it's not. It doesn't. It's not as
Gently searches his body.
Oh yeah, of course, yes, because the man is injured.
Does your stomach hurt?
Exactly, he's injured.
He's like ragdolling the guy trying to find a key.
So, and then the shot after that.
Oh yeah, you really reacted to that
going
one.
into when Raylan opens the door up, going into the room, and there's that big old gun coming right in. I mean, I just thought this was great.
Which is
that gun was
fascinating.
huge.
But that's fascinating with that information now about they're going to try to do a thing where he's not shooting anybody.
Yeah.
that
So
you're-
we get
but
to
they're
see
gonna
if
remind
they
you.
break their streak or not next week.
Man, that was good.
Yeah, that's one of those moments like last week with the Harlan Roulette.
Yeah.
You know, where you just go, you guys are really good at this.
And then the bad guys get away.
They do. The dust covers the plates. You couldn't see what the plates were.
Yeah, you just knew what kind of vehicle they're driving. They take off.
No matter how weird things might get. That was Ash's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
caveat.
right. Yeah, he goes back to Ash to figure out where they're going, and Ash doesn't want to say anything, of course.
I cooperated no matter how weird things get.
Wait, what do you mean?
how
How weird things get? It's a nice omen of it.
Yes.
Talk about a goddamn omen.
Yeah.
It's gonna get
Not
weird.
a goddamn amen, but a goddamn omen.
It's gonna get weird.
It is gonna get weird. So he knows that. All right, Raylan knows I missed those guys. He calls Rachel and says that they're on the run, and Rachel says, "Well, that money's supposed to be at the hauler. They could have been in this truck here, which I turned away. That means the money." So Raylan now knows he's got to go to the hauler and Mags' store to
Save Dickie.
Save. Goddamn, if I don't got to save Dickie Bennett.
Again.
Again. Too bad for Raylan.
He didn't say that, but
No, he didn't.
that was
See,
his-
well, if you're a marshal and you want to be a hero, you got to do that crap. Sorry.
That's a great setup because you're thinking, okay, here comes the cavalry. He's going
Cavalry.
to
Cavalry.
Okay,
Cavalry.
whatever I said.
Yeah.
It's okay. We knew
And
what you
then
meant.
yeah, and then it's not who saves him.
No.
So I like that setup.
Yeah, that was. Oh, and this was good. I hadn't seen the character that was all ready to kill Dickie. Now we might have seen him in a previous season because when because he's all pissed off because of Mags' decision or deal, I should say, with Black Pike and the whole coal mining company and all that kind of stuff. So I don't remember if we saw him in another episode, but he was certainly indicative of other people that we did see who were not happy with the Bennett decision and how they felt sold out and all that kind of stuff. So he had his anger on. He wanted to kill Dick. He just wanted a reason. The whole he said, the volunteer. I'm here to put a bullet in you.
Right.
So we got that nice tension going into Mags' store. And that was nice too. The little pause there when Dickie has to first go in.
Walks in.
Yeah. He has a moment
How the
of
mighty have
pause.
fallen.
Yeah. Gives me pause. I thought Dickie was actually wonderfully weird and awkward today. You know, he finally finds the cooler and he said, "Go ahead, open it up." One of us has to open it. It's almost like he's still on some sort of drugs.
Horses. Yes. Hold.
Yeah.
But has to open the.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think there was a gun or a booby trap?
Well, originally
I thought there was a gun.
Yeah, when he was looking in the shelves, I thought it was definitely a gun. I thought he's just gonna whip a gun out and shoot these guys because you know they hid guns like that like crazy in the store. And then the cooler, and I thought, I don't know, I guess it's still, but it was great because again, terrific writing. They're asking the questions that we're asking because we know the show. We're going, shit, he's got a gun in there. It's got, no, it's not a gun. It's booby trapped. And they're going, well, that's right. You know, Dickie's, you know, he's snaky. You never know what he's gonna do. So it could have been either one. I thought that was. You know, for me, it answered those questions. It made me even guess more, or like, what could be in there? You
know, just speaking of booby traps and bombs, do you remember? I believe it was season 1. You'd be able to tell us that there was a bomb that Boyd was involved with in the truck. Remember?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's really the only time we saw explosives. We haven't really seen explosives.
Oh, that was a rocket launcher, though.
No. He used a rocket launcher, and then in a later
dynamite.
I think that was season 2.
Okay, but, sticks of dynamite.
Season 2 then.
Blasting caps and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was the whole deal, the duffel bag, and the duffel bag was going different places.
Boyd was hired at the coal mines as a blaster.
Okay.
So, right, exactly. So we hadn't seen a lot of explosives. It's all been about guns, and so that's why when the cooler came out, I kind of went, well, no, it's not going to be booby trapped because that's just too sophisticated for the players.
But yeah, they didn't really have time to put that together.
No, I'm just saying it could have always been there, or in some fashion, you know.
Sure. This is the Bennett cooler.
Exactly. I mean,
number
like
one or number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I again read somewhere that I think there's going to be more explosions and more blowing up of things this season because also a house blew up last season.
Oh, that's right.
There was the big shootout and the house blew up, and so we're going to see more explosions this season. I know, got to get.
We're really low.
We're already on episode 5.
Count.
We'll talk about that in our season 2 DVD extra review.
Way to pimp it, nice.
Excellent, good work there.
So, and wasn't it great when the dad of the bad guy who wants to kill Dickie says,
"What?
I don't know. They just put a gun on his neck." His voice was great.
Oh, I know.
He finally spoke. I'm like, damn.
Where you been hiding that?
Great casting. Way to pull that thing out of the last. That was perfect.
But you are starting to get an idea of like who's gonna die as soon as this episode starts. You know, because it's like.
Now, did you think Devil was gonna die though?
No, not that. But I was pretty sure the guy he was sitting on the porch with was probably gonna bite it because I don't remember seeing him, and then the other 2 guys.
Well, they are bad guys, and bad things happen around bad guys.
Things happen around bad guys. So. Oh, did you let people know that Devil died?
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they saw it.
But who's the cavalry? Not Raylan.
No.
It's Limehouse.
Yeah.
Limehouse shows up just the right moment.
Smiling and pleasant.
That's right. I think he's just happy as anything. He's happy.
Well, he's happy until he opens up the
until he
opens up the cooler.
Until he finds out that the cooler isn't everything that he thought it was supposed to be. $3 million.
Can you put $3 million in a cooler? No. I'd like to find out.
I don't know, but it would be cold cash.
It would be.
So what I find interesting about this whole thing, which they haven't really talked about, and I'm hoping they got into, is so these families, the Bennetts and the Limehouses, have some sort of arrangement that they've had for it seems decades. I don't know how long, but and they hold their. It's like he's the bank. They put their money there, and I'm going what? And then. Mags obviously did something as a favor or did something for Limehouse, so Limehouse owes this debt. And so this money's been safe there or whatever, and his reputation is at hand. All that kind of stuff. And what is that? What was the favor? How did that happen? What was that handshake deal? What's the deal? What happened?
Don't know. But Dickie's not going to think the money was that safe. Because it went from $3 million to
46,313.
But there's receipts.
Yeah. And I wonder how real that is. Is that legit? My guess is it is. I mean, because
at least some of it is.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
What was he spending it on?
No, Mags supposedly spent it to buy
land
the
that she
eventually sold
back
to the
mining company,
Black Pike Mining Company.
Oh, okay.
And that's what everybody's pissed off at her.
But Dickie doesn't believe him.
No, he believes there should be more money.
Yeah.
There's a great line in that one. Dickie, we done.
Yeah. And supposedly the deal was if you if you receive this money, then we're done, and then he refuses the money.
He refuses,
doesn't accept it.
does
So
not accept
I don't know what that
it.
means either. Does that mean that the deal is not done? That since I didn't receive it.
Yeah, that is what it means.
Yeah,
as far as I can
and he
tell.
tells
They
him-
took the money back, and he tells them to make sure they start mating.
Having babies.
Yeah,
Having
that money
babies.
starts having babies. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I wasn't real sure about that. What are you gonna go up there and say? I want more money to these
I don't know.
guys.
And how do you have?
So maybe he's going to do an audit.
I can't explain it,
Yeah,
John.
I'm getting
Certainly
with
not on the air.
Okay.
He's going to bring in a forensic. what are those?
Apparently, it takes money to make babies. Like that's what I.
Well,
that's
you know,
what
that's
I
what
got.
they say.
Yeah.
It takes money to make money. So.
Yeah, I know, but it takes money to make babies. That's what. I'm just taking what Dickie said. I'm taking it
okay.
verbatim.
All right.
So that's
No,
what
not
I'm
spending
Okay.
money in the right areas makes babies.
Yeah.
Phil.
For those of you,
We could talk about that another time.
yeah, that's another special segment.
Did you bring condoms?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the.
That was
yeah.
from To Catch a Predator. That sounded like what's that guy's name? To Catch a Predator.
Oh, Chris.
Chris Hansen.
Hansen.
Nice. Bring not that I know. I mean, I've seen the TV show.
It's an internet meme.
So
Anyway, so then the last time we see Dickie, he's just sitting with two
he's just waiting for Randall.
stiffs.
And he
Giving
fires
himself
off.
up.
He fires off
A couple of shots to make
shots to make it look like he did it. I guess.
and make Raylan think he's coming in
Yeah.
and saving the day.
Exactly. Or I don't know if he knows Raylan's even out there, but he just sits down. But whatever, he fires off 2 shots. And Raylan pulls up. Says, you
going
gonna go
in."
in?
Are you gonna go
Yeah.
in? Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
And there it is. Dickie spinning his yarn again. I'm the victim.
Yeah.
And he was actually. I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm sure he was notified of the plan. I don't know if he had put the plan together, but
But they do end this storyline back with Dewey.
right.
Where is Dewey Crow?
Right
Taped to a chair.
Taped to a chair, complaining.
He's becoming an urban legend, is what's happening.
Yeah. Last time we see him, he's rolled up next to a bed full of implements.
Surgical instruments and getting another needle in the neck. I love that we started with
know.
Dewey with the needle in the
Yeah.
neck and we end with
Poor
Dewey with the
guy.
needle in the neck. We
poor
bookended
guy.
him.
So
Dude,
I
oh,
guess
he-
that'll be a prediction.
Is that
thing.
some sort of weird, some hidden thing about Dewey being a pain in the neck, and is that what that's about?
Oh,
Anyway.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So let's move on to our second storyline, which we've got to talk about Devil. 'Cause
Yeah.
We open up with Devil being recruited by Mr. Detroit.
Yep.
I feel oddly sad
Why is
with
that?
his storyline.
Dewey?
Yeah,
Devil?
no, Devils.
Devil's
Yeah, I
gone?
just kind of feel sorry for the guy, for the
The
way
character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, because he was just looking out for his own. He
He's
was
just
given
trying
a
to-
better business opportunity.
Yeah.
It wasn't the smart thing to do, but you know, you feel kind of bad for the guy. He's just
He's still a bad, white, racist, criminal asshole.
Okay.
But you feel kind of bad for him.
feel kind of bad for the way he went out.
Steve,
maybe he
Mr.
reminds
Compassion.
maybe reminds me of somebody I once knew. Maybe there's something in the face.
But
Maybe
I
so.
thought it was great to have Mr. Detroit, which we know is Quarles, but I like to call him Mr. Detroit. I love
more
him.
descriptive.
He's got the suit. I mean, he's looking good. Hey, there's the man.
And he's got
You
that
must be
shine
Devil.
on him.
Exactly.
That's all right. Settle down. Settle down. You know, Devil's messing up his little display.
And his recruiting speech was
just-
terrific. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm just observing. You know.
Are you bullshitting me? He's so smiley and happy.
Amen,
Like,
give
how
me
could
a
you?
goddamn amen.
How could you not want to work for this guy?
Exactly. He's smooth. He's he looks good.
He's got the suits.
Yeah.
He's the
obviously got-
one to see.
Yes. He's got deep pockets. And he thinks you're the guy I need to round out my
Yeah, are you sick
criminal
of being the guy
establishment.
sitting next to the guy, or do you want to be the guy? Was pretty much what he was saying, and that's what
Yep.
Boyd called
Yeah,
back.
Boyd,
in the end.
Boyd knows. Yeah, because that's what they all do.
How did they spin it?
That's what they all
He's
do.
so much fun to watch when he's talking to guys that he knows are idiots, and he has to continue the
Sure.
everything's good. No, we're on an even keel here.
Yeah.
we're on the same level, you and me.
Sure, we are.
Yeah, but this guy is, and that was an ad lib, huh? Give me a goddamn
Give me a
amen.
goddamn
Apparently,
amen.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I can deliver.
Well,
And you believe he can.
the show opened with last week's
Yeah.
episode where
Boyd.
Devil said to Boyd,
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah. And this week, not so much.
He's not
Well,
in.
you only got $360.
Yeah, well,
that's not much.
No.
So where's the rest
he
of it?
wants
The
his
rest of it's
pay
at
dirt.
Detroit.
And he's been following Boyd. Let's not forget, he's been following Boyd since way back during the religious conversion time. when
Yes.
Boyd was preaching, hate. hate speech in a church and all that kind of stuff. So
he wouldn't call it that.
That's what he was
No,
talking about.
Neither of them would call it
That's
that.
what he was talking about
truth
last.
speech.
They were preaching the Lord.
Exactly.
That's what they were
doing the
talking
Lord's
about
work.
last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Is like, which Boyd am I going to be following?
Right.
So
they laid that in all
and,
nicely. He's had his misgivings about the whole thing.
And Devil talks about that too. You know, when
Johnny.
he's talking to Johnny. Exactly. This
is not
this
the
is not the Boyd.
Boyd that we know.
Right.
And we also got again more expos about how Boyd didn't visit Johnny when he was in the hospital, or how he put Johnny in the hospital. And you know, here's the thing: they really they had me going. I wasn't sure about Johnny. I didn't know if he'd really. And I said, he can't turn on Boyd, but Boyd did put him in
all
the
those
hospital.
things. Yeah.
So, and Johnny did want to take over at some point. You know, I don't think he thinks he can now because of the wheelchair and everything like that. But I really wasn't sure. I don't know, but how would you guys think? Did you guys?
I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming.
I didn't either. I thought that
Phil?
Johnny was kind of going with it.
Did you think Johnny was going to have Boyd's back, or did you think Devil was making a good argument and Johnny was going to go with him?
I didn't see it coming.
You didn't see it coming in.
Yeah.
So none of us
Maybe
did.
I mean part of it was I'm not chiming in too much because I did see the episode, but I saw in the background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so the specifics
Right.
fail me, so I don't want to get into it too much.
Okay.
And be
but
wrong.
Yeah, that I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. I thought that because I remember last season when Johnny was really pissed at Boyd for the whole thing. So I thought, well, you know, I'm getting my bar back. This guy's got, why do I need Boyd? And he did put me in the house. So, I mean, I was buying it. So I thought it worked for me anyway. So I couldn't see it coming. So, and I thought they did a masterful job of laying in the whole misgivings that Devil had. I mean, they did it just a little bit in the last 3 episodes. Which Boyd am I going to get? And when are we going to...
Oh, how he was conflicted about the commitment
Boyd.
he made last week,
and we
now
don't,
he's
and going
conflicted
against Boyd, saying we don't, you know, Boyd's not here and all that other stuff, because you know clearly he just wanted to make his money, and move on. He wanted to get on with these things, and he didn't want to wait for Boyd and Boyd's plan and all this other stuff. He wanted to just get moving.
This is a great thing how they played this. Is we see Boyd with Detroit.
Yeah.
And then last time we see him is, well, just for sake of argument.
No, this is Devil with Detroit.
Devil with
I'm
Detroit.
sorry, Devil
Yeah.
with Detroit.
Yeah.
And then the next time we see Devil is when he's walking into the bar and Boyd's saying, so where you been? And Devil's attitude has changed. Devil's attitude is, we know he's made a decision and he's got no patience left.
Right. And it was sealed when he saw the 360 too.
And it's so much, so much fun to see that as opposed to nothing. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
And then the other thing
was
that they
nice.
added to that was when Raylan walks in and they offer him bourbon, and he says, what kind of water you got? And he turns to Devil and says, get him some tap. And you see the look on his face like, oh, now I really am the guy behind the guy in the chair, and you know, I'm the second tier of getting guy water. So it's like,
Yep.
oh, nicely layered.
Quick side note.
Yeah.
At what point do you think Raylan drinks and when does he not drink? Because most of the time when he's in a bar, he has a shot.
Yeah.
And today he had water.
Well, my only guess is that whole thing where he's talking about his dad. And
Yeah.
because his dad was, you know, my dad never passed up a chance to drink away
To
the
drink
weekend.
it, yeah.
Probably that would be the reason why I wouldn't drink right now.
All right.
I don't know. Either
Maybe
that-
he doesn't feel
It's not like he has to keep
enough.
his wits about him, and I don't think he's
He can
had
handle,
a drink on the job before.
He can handle his liquor, yeah.
But I don't know. That's something I can guess.
Well, there was that one time in season 1, which the only thing I can refer to.
Yeah.
Where he does get in a fight and he is too drunk to fight and he
Gets his
loses
ass
his
kicked.
hat.
Oh, the hat.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, but
That was a good episode.
That was a good
That was
episode.
a really good
So,
episode.
and then Devil does his convincing of Johnny, which I thought it was very well done, very persuasive. It made me think that was going to happen. And you notice when I thought about the scene again, Johnny never says, "Yeah, I got your back." He
No.
just says,
Start talking.
"Start talking." So, could have been a nod. Anyway, and then that last scene. Oh man,
come to
that was
meeting.
nasty.
Come to Jesus.
Come to
meeting.
Jesus.
Meeting. I detect some menace in your voice. You take it however you want it.
He gives him a way out. He says, "No, before you go down this path."
Yeah.
And boy,
Take him
and
there.
Devil's thinking, "No, I'm going down the path, and I'm
Yeah.
going to take you
I'm
out."
going
Yeah,
to
he's already made it.
succeed.
So
And he
this
says
is
the
just
line.
irritating to me now.
What is the line that Boyd says? He goes, "Well, I guess there's nothing left to talk about." And then we saw it later, and I don't think he was talking about. We don't have anything more to discuss. I think he was saying that to himself because he said in the previews, once you decide to kill a man, there's no use. What does he say? Once you make up your mind to kill a man, there ain't nothing left to talk about. I think that's what he was saying to himself. I tried. He's obviously not going to stop down this road, so there's nothing left to talk about. I have to do what I have to do. I don't think he's...
You think he was showing Johnny that, look, we gave it everything we could?
Go ahead. If I may interject, you know, not the strongest connection, but it is a bit of a connection because Raylan, he only draws his gun to kill.
Right.
As we know. And so it's almost that kind of connection, like, okay, once you make a decision, you're going to go with it.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's the same situation. And Boyd said, the only thing I asked you for was your loyalty, the only thing.
That's that. Well, didn't I deserve that and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Man.
He's got devil's gun on him. He's just give me just a moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, what are you going to say? It's like, oh, that's what you're going to say.
And as it turns out, Johnny didn't make the deal with the devil.
No, he didn't. And he's got a bigger gun than Devil.
Man, that was... I really liked the way they wrote that scene. I was very surprised
to see Devil get shot.
Really? Well,
I really was.
We'll briefly talk about that because here's why.
Oh, sorry. That's your cue, Tam.
There you go, Tam.
They could only have him for so many episodes. He has another job.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Devil is named Kevin Rankin.
Does a terrific job.
And he's on Unforgettable.
Yeah. So two of the producers that also were producers on Justified work on that. Were producers of Unforgettable, and they hired him to work on that. So he, you know, because he's such a good actor, that they got a job for him. Well, he's under contract with them, and they, you know.
What a dilemma! What a poor dilemma for the guy.
I know, poor actor.
But they were they're produced on both shows. They were able to work the schedule such that he could continue. Instead of it being a huge problem, they said, well.
Or him not being able to take the second job on Unforgettable.
So since there's nothing we can do about it, let's make it work for everybody. And they used it as an example to show it because everybody's so charmed by Boyd. We're going to use Devil to remind people that he is nobody to feel sorry about or to forget that he's a killer.
Right.
So that's what they decided to do.
Well, it was an excellent point. It was an excellent place. The other thing that they're reminding you is Detroit doesn't know what he's getting into.
That's right.
Or he's probably underestimating it. Yeah.
Absolutely, because we had this conversation before about you're going to have the East Coast or the North going up against the South again, the Civil War, and this is a great example of we know everything that's going on down in the holler.
And not to, first of all, it's great that Devil got killed in the sense of the story and the conflict and all that stuff and character and how it really enhances that. I just love the way they did it, sitting across the table, just like Boyd got shot in the heart, just like Boyd. The whole way they wrote that is, I know where you are, looking up at ceiling, searching for
trying
air.
To get your breath,
exactly. I thought that was masterfully done in that because it reminded you, that's right, he was shot like that. He knows exactly what he's going through, and even though he's killing the guy, he has that sense of quote the code that they live by.
Yes.
That
well, he says, by miracle I made it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it, son.
Son.
So.
And then that last line, close your eyes, son.
Yeah.
And then again, you just hear. Oh well, no. The other great thing about it was you hear him screaming, and then the shot.
Yeah.
Which
to
probably
black.
do the same thing. I would think I'd probably
straight
scream.
to black.
And right to black.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
Awesome episode again.
No. All right. Well, then that should take us to our break there. So Phil, if you'd be so kind, move us on.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
right, John, you want to intro it?
Actually, I don't know what I'm introing, so I'm going to leave that in your capable hands.
Let's go ahead to our special segment.
Special segment!
All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to say, I'm sure a lot of you guys will, download it on iTunes, or where hopefully at least you're downloading on iTunes. Please don't download the show illegally. You're not helping anyone. But if you did download on iTunes, you're missing some great special features from the DVD, and so I wanted to kind of promote that for them and give you sort of my review of it. So we have on there, we have outtakes, deleted scenes, which, those are all fun. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of those, but, it's great to kind of see, obviously, these characters working, and they do mess up every now and then, which is funny. You don't think of, like, a drama series having outtakes, but they do. Yeah. You think of you associate that with comedy. Mm-hmm. But the really cool one was on the set of Justified, and basically we follow the production designer, David Blass, who, from the story he tells, he finished up season 1. So he wasn't the production designer for many of the episodes during season 1, but he finished up, and then he carried that over into season 2. And they switched the locations. One of the things he reveals that Ava's house, they filmed down in the South for a bit, and then they switched over to California. Now they're filming around the Disney Ranch or something like that. And so Ava's house, they try to find one that kind of looked as similar as they could, but for fans, they know the difference. Yeah. So he kind of made light of that. And in addition to that, it's fun seeing the locations. They're always thinking of because someone keeps Jesus.
Yeah.
We got the doorbell ringing. Someone's got to ring the door. Someone's got to answer the doorbell around here.
Should that be me?
No.
Okay.
But anyway,
because I could.
What I was going to say is, obviously, there's so many locations, and that only enriches the product that we have. And someone now opened my door. Jesus.
Jesus opened the door.
No, someone's trying to. They're trying to throw my wrenches in my.
It is a special segment, so it's all special stuff.
But no, it's by having so many locations, you increase the production value. But that also means you have to go to all these locations, things like that, and the farther away they are, the harder it becomes. And so David Blass, his main thing, we need something like this. And then he'd look, and they'd be like, oh, there's a creek. We're shooting there. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's right next door to the house that we're filming in. Yeah. And but I'm also, one of the things he revealed there, I'm very surprised at how committed they are. There was a scene at the creek, actually, where they needed to shoot it, but then it started raining. So then they reshot the next day, but it didn't match the footage that they shot the other day. So they reshot a third day for one scene.
Wow.
So that's I don't ever really hear of that on TV shows, but I guess obviously the quality they want to bring to this. And Steve, you were making a point of it, with the scars and things like that. They're committed to that level of detail, and so they made sure to reshoot for a third day.
Well, it shows on the screen.
Exactly.
It really does.
And then speaking of the explosion, we were talking about that for the season finale. He talked about that, how they set that up. So I won't give too much away, because again, if you're listening to this, I do encourage you to buy the DVD and watch it yourself. It's very, very fantastic stuff. So that's all I have to say.
Nice.
One of the things that I was looking at was I'm a fan of Burn Notice. I think it's relatively lighthearted and fun, and different network, obviously, but. I think it was Graham Yost again.
Oh, that's right.
Saying somebody asked him a question about the body count or how violent the show is and how many explosions there are, and he goes, "Look, sack up or watch Burn Notice, because this is what we do." Which I thought was great, and it kind of speaks to that. They're really seriously committed to making excellent television.
Here's what I don't get. First of all, it's Elmore Leonard, so you already got that going in. So you already kind of know the playing field, people. Yeah. Secondly, even if you don't know Elmore Leonard, this is the show. It's never steered away from this. It's always been this. You're dealing in crime. Bad people do bad things. People get killed. That's it. I don't know what people are upset about.
Are people upset?
I don't know, but there seems to be.
I think the only thing that I would be...
What's that?
I said I'm not upset.
I'm not upset.
No, not you guys, but there are people like, oh my God, so many people, there's so many killings. Well, yeah.
That's what happens.
I mean, I think there's moments where the, Nick the Pig shooting the pizza guy at the very end, or Harlan roulette. I mean, they do kind of take things up to another level of like, yeah, that's probably exactly how it happens, and dang, but as from a standpoint of a body count, it's no different than CSI. I mean,
for sure.
There's a lot of or Dexter or there was a lot of gruesome stuff on that, but that's HBO. But
Showtime.
Yeah, but you know what?
Showtime. Sorry,
one of those cable things was my point.
Drugs are bad. Crime is bad.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've got one other note, and this is for a very, very specific group of people. But if you happen to live in the San Fernando Valley, Southern California, you get to see a lot of your town in a lot of these shows.
Oh, really?
In what parts are you?
Oh, because
there's an area that they used because it's got the picket fence. I don't want to give the exact location and stuff, but
your front yard.
Yeah, but it's in one of the big parks.
And
you see it a lot, and because it's a great stretch to film on. They're always filming out there. But you were saying that you're recognizing Valencia.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you in on the background of some of the filming stuff that a lot happens in the valley, people.
And some of that they talk about on season 1's extras.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you recognize this specific stretch that I'm talking about, I think you know
exactly what we're talking about.
You see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You see it a lot in The Office.
Yeah, you see it a lot in The Office. You saw it a lot
on
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
Move to the valley and see all the stars. It's like you just run into them.
You do.
At Costco.
All the time.
Giving out free samples.
Uh-oh, we're moving on. That's our sign for predictions.
Yeah,
we're running
that's our cue.
slightly late.
We are running late.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here.
Okay. Predictions are fast. Here's my prediction.
Okay. Somebody's losing a kidney.
I don't think he actually takes it out. I think he just tells him he takes it out and freaks him out.
You're talking about Dewey and
Lance is the doctor's name.
Lance? Okay, I don't think Lance actually pulls his kidney.
Is that a nickname or is that his name?
No, it's a great name.
It is his name.
Lance Slice. So that's my prediction. That Dewey
I
doesn't
agree.
actually have something missing, but he's too dumb.
That's exactly what I thought. Is that as soon as I saw him, I go, he doesn't really take him out. He just makes Dewey think it.
Awesome, though. They do the old urban legend.
I'm guessing.
Call 911 immediately.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it.
You need 2 kidneys.
Everybody refers to him as the imbecile, so I'm guessing. That's how it happened.
But he has
seriously, if you're missing a kidney, you're not going to be running around doing all this.
No, you're not going to be.
No,
but I love that.
And it looks like he's got 2, like he took both of them.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't have either kidney, man, you're not going to be
not doing
long
much
for this world.
So, but what a great motivator for Dewey.
Yeah. So I think that's true. I'm with you on that.
I'm looking forward to seeing Raylan not shoot anybody next week.
God, that'd be great. I love the way.
That is fun.
Kind of neat little inside stuff.
Keep the badass quotient high.
Body count low.
Body count low. That'll be interesting.
Yep. Now can he grab
gunplay?
Can he grab someone else's
kill
hand?
anybody else he wants?
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll unleash him.
Like you said, I think it's a great creativity test.
It have to be tremendously creative, and clearly they were up to the task.
Yeah. So. And now I'm thinking.
Phil, you got any predictions?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, then that's it. We're done.
We are done.
All right. Where can we hear you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm at Tamara Jewelry on Twitter. Steve.
I'm around.
His Bottomley Steven. BOTTOMLEYSTEVEN. That's his Twitter handle.
Come stalk me in San Fernando Valley.
Yes.
John, first you.
John doesn't have a Twitter handle.
Store?
Any local hardware store.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. That's our podcast.
Well, I've got one more thing.
What do we got?
On behalf of Valentine's
Phil,
Day.
Mr. One More Thing today. What is with you?
I am Mr. One More Thing. I have to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've realized we've been spreading the message of like, hey, tell your friends about AfterBuzz TV. And how does that make you feel, especially with Valentine's Day coming up? Like, do we love you any less? No, we don't.
No.
We actually have infinite amount of love to give.
That's right.
And so by telling your friends, it's
You're
okay. We still love you the same.
Share the love.
AfterBuzz be your Valentine. I think is what you're saying. Is that what you're going for?
What I'm going for, because we show you so we heart you,
Yeah.
and so show us some love by telling a friend.
There you go.
And that does not dissipate the love we have for you. So there you go. That's the special
that
message.
expands it exponentially, clearly, because the love grows.
Because love grows.
Love grows. There you go.
Okay.
And on that note,
Anywho.
thank you for joining us for another podcast of Justified Season 3, Episode 4, The Devil You Know. On behalf of Phil Svitek, Stephen Bottomley, Tamara Berg, I'm your host, John Comerford, saying Happy Valentine's Day.
We'll see you next week. Ciao.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.